This is Chad French with Next Vision Instruments. Today we're going to be doing an overview, setup, install, and training on the new Topcon Maestro 2 OCT and Fundus photo camera. Now when you get the unit, it will be in a factory box. You just pull the Maestro camera out and set it on a table. Typically you want to use a double instrument table. In the box, it'll come probably with a separate box. It'll have the computer, keyboard, mouse, some accessories here, and the cables. Now on the camera itself, once you have it out of the box onto a table, you would plug the power cord here. There is the on-off button, on-off switch. On the other side of the camera, we have an Ethernet port with USBs. You connect the Ethernet cable to the camera and run it to the back of the computer into the LAN or Ethernet port there. Power cord for the monitor, and then in your accessory pack we'll have a adapter. It's a USB to Ethernet, so you can plug that into one of the USB ports on the back of the monitor for networking or to get internet on the computer. It'll have an accessory kit here with chin pins and chin papers in there. It'll also have an attachment. This is an attachment that we'll use for anterior segment capturing. That will be later. Once you have everything connected, you have the power supply to the camera, you have the monitor connected and plugged in, you will fire everything up. I'm going to start by pushing this button and flipping the switch for the camera. Everything will start to boot up. Now when you get this keyboard, it is a wireless keyboard and mouse. On the back where the batteries go, the center pops out. 2 batteries go there, AAA. The little receiver is here when you get it from the factory. You take that receiver, plug it into one of the USB ports behind the screen, and that's the receiver for the wireless keyboard and mouse. There's a switch on the top of the keyboard for on off. In the mouse, there's a switch on the bottom. This is the home screen of your computer. You want to double click Imagenet. This is the screen you're going to come to. You're going to contact Topcon, who will register this device to your clinic and get you a username and password. We are in a trial mode because this does not have a home yet. We're going to hit log in. It's also a touch screen. And this will be the home screen that you want to have pulled up and you're ready for patients here. Before we get into that, in the box, the external fixation light will not be attached. So you want to put that on top and just fold it up. You can use that for manual mode. A couple cool features from the Maestro. You can operate it to have the patient sit on this side as well as the technician. You have them side by side. I can turn the screen to the side and operate it from the side, or you can flip this down and run it from behind the unit as well. So you can be either across from the patient or on the same side. For clinics that need space saving ability, you can push this up against the wall, which is what I'm going to do here. You can push that against the wall and the technician can be here and your patient can be just to the left of them, and you can operate the Maestro over their head or beside them. Okay, this is how you customize your screen for which scan you're going to do on the Maestro. So you would everything is grayed out except setup. You click the setup button, it brings you to this screen. Now you can select, we're on wellness, and it has a little icon here you can scroll. We're going to go through the tabs here. This is for the macula, glaucoma, anterior segment, and fundus photo. Now you can customize any of these. For the wellness, it comes standard with the 3D wide as the only icon. Now that's going to be the only one. This is what you see on your home screen. So what we're going to do, you can see these are not set. We're going to set a couple different ones. So we got the 3D wide. I'm going to highlight 3D macula. We'll just put a 3D macula there. You click add icon. And the next one we'll go with a 3D disc, add icon. And for the next one, I want to have an anterior seg option. So we're going to go radial anterior seg, add. Now if I don't want that one, I can hit delete and add a different one, but we're going to add that for now. So once we're done, hit OK. Now my home screen is customized to the ones that we just set up. Everything's still grayed out because we still have to do input patient data on Imagenet before we can access these scans that we just set up. Okay, so once you have logged in, this is your home screen of Imagenet 6. To add new patients, you're going to go to the new patient button here. You need to have some kind of ID that is 5 characters long. We're going to input a last name of test, and then date of birth. We're going to go a generic one, 01/01/1989. You select the gender and click register at the bottom. This is today's patients. The last 7 days, or for all, if you needed to search for returning patients, you would search for them here. We're going to go to today, since that's the one we just entered. You would highlight which patient you want to acquire. You go up to acquisition, and this little bar will pop up. Now you want to click Maestro 2. That is going to initialize the camera. Now the screen that was previously grayed out is now available. We're going to do a 3D wide, touch 3D wide. Now it is on OU, so it's going to do both eyes automatically. If you needed to just do one eye, obviously you would select which eye. You can also do it from this screen as well. Now on this screen you can see there is a little blue window around capture start. That means that we are ready to take the OCT and fundus photo. If that blue is grayed out and it is not there, then you need to call Topcon's technical support. They would be able to remote in and check IP addresses to make sure that the camera is talking to the software. Also on this screen it tells you which eye we're doing first, which is the right. Your external fixation light will not be in use unless you turn it on with this button here. You don't need it. There's a green X inside that they stare at. If they're a difficult patient, obviously have blind spots, or for whatever reason you need to manipulate them manually, you can turn the fixation on by this button here. This is advanced settings. This has a cataract mode. It is off. We're going to turn that on. It has a small pupil option that you can turn on as well. This should always be on for a fundus photo capture. These buttons are for raising and lowering the chin rest. So you can raise the chin rest, lower the chin rest to align the patient. Now you want their canthus aligned with these lines. So the patient puts his chin all the way forward, forehead touching the top. Then I go to the screen here and you can see his eyebrow is in view here. I'm going to raise the chin rest with this button. And you can see his eye start to come in. Once you get it here, you can drag it over to the center. You want his pupil between these two blue lines and his pupil in this blue box. Once it is, you hit capture. It's fully robotic. It will automatically adjust and align. It's going to optimize automatically. 3, 2, 1. And we have an OCT and fundus photo in less than 5 seconds. That's a good quality, so we're going to hit OK. It's going to automatically go over to his left eye. Now we're in the blue box. He's pretty close here. We're going to lower him just a hair. Hit capture start again for the left eye. You can have the patient blink here and hold it. Perfect. Once you get a good scan, you hit OK, or you can hit erase to repeat the scan. And after you've captured, this will export to the computer and the Imagenet software. This is the left eye. This is the last image that was taken. You have a lot of different options with the Maestro 2. You grab this little cursor at the bottom and it shows you the corresponding scan on this line, and this is the cross section of where that line is. So we're at the top of the nerve. You can bring it back the other way to go through the nerve. You'll see the macula start to come into view there. Now you can right click to have it as a B-scan image, take the color out of it. It's a bunch of different settings that you get in here and play with. So this is, again, just the screen after you capture. Now, if you want to look at it more in depth, you go here to analyze and you come to a screen like this. Now there's so many features within this screen. You can do the same thing with the color on any of the images. There's a caliper tool here where you can measure by clicking and holding, and then you can drag. You can measure a hole, ERM, you can measure the thickness, some edema, maybe swelling, something that's going on there. You can come over to this overlay, have it as a shadogram. There are thickness maps that shows the elevation. It's so many different features. You can add a grid, ETDRS for the thickness. It can show you the grid of the disc topo here, the cupping, where the cup begins. You can come in and look at a 3D view of it, which is pretty cool. Now you can left click to center the image and drag the image. You would right click and hold to adjust, and you can look at a 3D image of the scan that was taken. The eye is inferior, S for superior, temporal, and nasal. You can kind of see the layers here too. It's so many options that you can do with the Maestro. Now then, when you want to, you can play around and look at the different features in this analyze mode here. For the standard reports, you're going to click the top. I don't want to save any of those, so you click the top that says report. This is the 3D wide standard report. It gives you, based on the scan that we took, the 12:9, it gives you the full report, the disc information. It gives you the RNFL analysis. It ganglion cell analysis, a retina analysis here. Now you can go to this side. There was a glaucoma report. You click that, it will just give you information on the disc and glaucoma. And then there's the hood report option as well. Now the hood report is unique to the Maestro. It gives you an objective visual field based on the scan. So this is for a 10-2, and this would be the 24-2 based on the scan of the nerve, based on the scan of the retina. And that is again called the hood report. Now from here, you click standard. You would go here to print. There is an export button here as well. You can export these reports. And then we want to go back to analyze so we can play around with some of the features. You can also trend it. I'm going to pull up a separate patient here. So this one we have scans. These are all the scans that we've taken under one patient. So 3 on 3 different days. We're going to go with the most recent scan, the right eye. And you can click OU and pull, you just drag. This is another scan from today for the left eye to view both eyes at the same time. And if you wanted to go to compare, we would, these are again the scans for this patient. We would scroll over to an earlier scan. Now the right eye is on the top, so that's what I'm going to be comparing it from or to. And then you pull this right eye in, and this one was taken on 12/2. This one was taken on March 11th, and you get a breakdown and a trend. You can see how it looked over the last 3 months or so, 4 months. Now you can also have multiple ones pulled up at the same time, and you would go in and you have the red free, infrared, enhanced infrared, shadowgram, and once you get where you want to be, once you've seen everything you need to see, you want to go to the report to print. You can do that by these top buttons here. Up top we have print, export, there's a dashboard. You can do the just to go back to the thumbnails to see the reports that were generated for today. This is all just today's. You click these to view any previous ones. If you needed to just see the fundus, you can do that. It gets in here, you can play with these colors to enhance the image. Brightness, contrast, sharpness. I'm going to increase the sharpness. Now it automatically does this for you. You can go in and adjust it if you need to. But you get a true fundus color photo and OCT in less than 5 seconds, which you have 2 instruments in one, which is definitely space saving. Okay, so this is taking another 3D wide scan. Let's say you're having a difficult patient. They don't want to stay still. You're having a hard time with the automatic capture and focus. What you would do is get them aligned, drag his pupil to the center, hit capture start, and then we're going to hit manual mode. How you manually align it is touch the pupil here, touch the pupil there, capture. It's going to come in and focus, and then you want to just tap anywhere to the side there to access the control panel. So this is how you move the target, the direction in which he's looking. This is how you adjust the focus. This brings it up or down, left to right. This is to bring the camera closer, to bring the camera further away. If they have a cataract, you would hit cataract and it would optimize to shoot around the opacity. And then when you have it where you can see the retina, or you're around cataract or an ulcer, or Fuchs, whatever they have going on, you hit capture start. And you got a good image there. So that's how you manipulate the camera in manual mode. Another feature of the Maestro, if you need to do peripheral fundus photos and you didn't want to do the OCT, you're trying to get maybe a nevus or something out in the periphery, we would go to photo. You can just take a fundus photo here if you like. We're going to click peripheral photo for this demonstration. This grid, so right now the fixation is in the center. You'd start with just a central photo. The internal fixation is moving for the patient, which would have them move their point of focus. So that's inferior. You could go to any of these to montage a full peripheral image if you like, or if you're just trying to focus on one nevus. If you're having a hard time, the patient has blind spots or something and they can't use the internal fixation, you can guide the other eye with the external fixation light, which comes on, and you would just hit capture from here as well. In the kit, when you open the box for the Maestro, you have this anterior segment attachment. It's just a silicone headrest. You place this on the headrest like that. We're going to select the radial anterior scan. His pupil's in the box, in between the blue lines here. We're going to hit capture start. It's going to auto align and focus. Now we want this circle with the arrow to be as central in the pupil as we can. And this is how you move the camera up, down, left to right. These two bring the camera closer to his face or further away. That's pretty central. You want that blue box in the apex of the cornea there. We're going to hit capture. Perfect. It did a 360 cross section, the radial OCT of his cornea, and it gives you an external photo. After capturing the anterior photo and OCT, this is the screen that comes up on Imagenet, and you can see here this is the radial. It took the scans in these different angles. You can change the direction of the arrow to get a different cross section. Now when you move this little icon here, it's going to scroll through those OCTs and you're going to watch this cross section rotate. This is at about 140, about 135 there, at 90, and so on. And that just shows you that's the radial OCT. You can do just a line scan if you need to, but if you do the radial, there's really no need because it gives you all the angles that you need. And from here, you would go to Analyze. Okay, so pretty much the same thing here. If you need to look at the cornea in any kind of OCT, in any direction, you can move the little cursor and on the bottom. If you need to measure edema, or if you wanted to measure the vault of like a scleral contact lens, you could do that here. You would just back out the OCT a little bit so you could see the lens. I'm gonna X out of that, and you also have the options to do an infrared image, enhanced infrared, or color, and then you could print, export from here if you like, or I don't want to save those changes that we just did. We could go to the actual report that would print as well. This is what that would look like. Could do a portrait or landscape report, and that is anterior segment.